fly a fair nation, fly a fair nation, fly a fair nation.
It's not just for you, you selfish. It's for everyone around you.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the
Be Selfish Podcast.
I'm your girl, Sherelle.
I'm Lily.
So, I've missed you.
Missed you too.
We just got over Thanksgiving, and we are now entering Christmas, the holidays, and
I
all
like
the
calling them
things.
the holidays.
The holidays. And I want to know how you've been feeling the last 2 weeks or so, because I've been feeling a lot of ways.
I've had good and bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Things to be happy for, and then things to cry about. But at the same time, I had to take a little tiny break off of social media. I kept seeing things that just made my energy just drain.
Girl.
One of the things that did kind of shine a light, I saw that they are doing something with the Shinquilla. They're arresting.
Yeah.
I know you guys heard this on the last episode, and we have that little tiny update that they are arresting. I think they're taking her to Mexico. And
they're expediting her to Mexico. The girl who's caught in the video, fighting directly harming Shaquilla Robinson. So she's being expedited. So far, no one else has been implicated.
And
but
I got a problem with that.
I have a feeling like she's going to be singing like a bird really soon. So yeah, we'll keep y'all updated on it. But at least one person, the main person, has been expedited back. And yeah.
And for you, how was the Bahamas?
Yeah, so I went to the Bahamas. I went on a family trip. Oh my God. So, I haven't seen my dad in 7 years since he got deported to the Bahamas. And we just decided to do this huge family trip, booked 3 Airbnbs. We rode around, Bimini the whole time on golf carts. And I couldn't help but to feel like, oh my God, God is giving me another chance to rekindle things with my dad, which eventually I'll go into details, or not, okay, about my relationship with my dad. But it was a blessing in disguise. And even before that, I was telling Lily, yo, there's so much happening with spirituality and how God is moving in my life, and the faith that I needed, that I thought I had, but I really didn't. It was I know I'm a child of God, but I didn't really have faith. So God was just speaking to me in ways that only I could understand, because I feel like that's just how God speaks to us and through us and to us. So I've been feeling great. I feel really unstoppable. I feel like a bitch can't kill my vibe, okay? And that's just what it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I traveled also.
Yes, you did.
I had my first little road trip, and a lot of, I don't know, sometimes I see things two ways, and I felt like I was taken out of, this is my home, this is my sacred place, right? And I was taken to another place where there was so much love, so much joy and happiness, acceptance, a lot of things I didn't get to see.
Well, what do you mean? So when you went on a little vacay, who were you getting the love from?
I was getting the love from my baby's family.
Oh, so yo, boo, the family loves you?
Yes, that's the first time, honestly. And while that was happening, I also there's a lot. There was just a lot going on with me. And sometimes when I can't understand certain things, I have someone that, even the way that I met this person, it's one of those do we know each other? Because it feels like we know each other. We feel like family. We even have the same last name, which is funny. But do I really know him to the point where every time I'm down, hey,
you're calling.
I need to call him, because he gives me a lot of guidance. He gives me a lot of sight.
And this is separate from your boo thing, your man.
Oh, yes.
This is okay.
Yes. I brought my man to him just to be like, hey, this is real. And
is it a go?
I got a confirmation.
I know that's right. Okay. I love that for you.
Definitely got a confirmation. And With that being said, this is someone that in my culture, I call him basically my godfather. And the way he became my godfather, we're definitely gonna get into that because it was whoo. But he goes by the name of Isaiah Castillo.
Yes.
And he's young, he's 33. But he is so smart. Like he's like an open book.
You know, 3's my number, so I love it already.
Oh, he's 33.
That's
So
wild.
definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, he's actually with us right now. You guys, we had him, hidden for a little bit, but here he is.
We have our first guest.
Our first guest.
Thank you for being with us, Isaiah.
Thank you for having me. I'm really honored and excited to be here. Iburuiboy Bocheche, everybody. My name is Isaiah Castillo. I am of the Yoruba religion, Ifa. Specifically, I'm a babalao. And, excuse me. And, I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions and also guidance, help them answer whatever questions I can. And enjoy the experience. I hope it helps. And whoever needs helps, open doors for whoever needs doors open. Excuse me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about this conversation because a few things. Being someone who has faith and who is a child of God, right? I also always feel super connected and like rooted, but I never, me being Haitian, I never like was exposed to any rituals or spirituality beyond going to church, right? Like that's just all we knew. So having you, hey,
I got
so
you.
that's why like being here with you now is just so exciting. Like we're gonna talk about spirituality and all the things and being rooted. So let's get into it.
I'm an open book, dive deep.
Let's get rooted.
So you are a babalao.
Yes.
And we also mentioned before like babalao, which is a Nigerian term.
More Nigerian dialect, Afro-Cuban, how we say it in Cuba, Afro-Cubano, say babalao.
Okay.
It all has the same meaning. Baba, father, lao or lao, secrets or mysteries. So we're the father of the secrets. In the religion. We have the deep secrets. Not to say that whoever's not a babalao and still in the religion doesn't know anything. They have their knowledge as well. But the real secrets, that's why our thing, Ifa, is very secret.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep it as secret as possible. We barely talk about anything that happens in the initiation of Ifa. It's like we have this thing like where it's like, don't say it or else type thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how serious we take that. That's our oath that we took. Like you will never reveal what happened here. Sounds kind of mafioso, if you will, sort of New York gangster style, but that's how, how serious it is for us.
Yeah.
That's the pact that we made, and it's unbreakable for us. For whoever really believes in this thing, this is something we don't, for whoever takes it seriously, we don't say everybody should be a babalao.
Okay.
For whoever doesn't see this religion as a business, we all say Ifa is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Ifa can help everybody, but not everybody can be initiated into Ifa.
Okay. So let's rewind just a little bit, right? So you're 33 and just take us back on like how do you even begin this journey to now becoming a babalao?
I'll even go further back than that.
Let's do it.
So it mainly started on my dad's side of the family because my mom's actually she was born in the States, but her family's from Panama. But at that time, the religion wasn't really too big in Panama. The religion from Africa came to Cuba. My father's great-grandfather was a slave from Africa. And he's the one, of course, that's where the religion came from my dad's side and all the way down to him. From when I was born, my dad came here in 1980 and Maria from Cuba. From when I was born, this is what I saw. Coming up as a little baby, I saw, the Orishas, I saw the spiritual side of it. I'll get more into it later regarding how I divide the religion into 4 different sectors, if you will. Okay. I'll throw a little bit of math in there. You'll see what I mean. But I saw everything. Ifa was the last part that I saw. I started to see more of Ifa as a man, more in my 20s, the mid to late 20s. I started to see, hang on. I actually was supposed to be more involved with this and this and this and this. And I've been focusing so much on the other side. I wasn't always close to the religion as a kid, even as a teenager. Not to say I didn't believe in it because I knew it was real because I had seen proof that it was real. I just didn't want to be around it.
Why is that?
I say now that I think about it, especially now that I'm older, living in New York, growing up in New York, back in the day, the religion wasn't it was more frowned upon.
Okay. It's
I would
still
say.
kind of,
And it's still kind of frowned upon. But I just wanted to live a normal life. I was like, I don't really want to deal with this right now. I just want to hang out with my friends. If there was religious things going on of whatever kind in my house, I was out with my friend or girlfriend at the time, or playing sports, doing whatever, partying. I used to DJ in New York. I used to do a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that.
I used to do everything. I used to do everything but the religion.
Okay.
Until eventually things started to happen. You know, I've been involved in a lot of life-threatening experiences, if you will. You know, and even one day, first one was when I was about 18 years old. I was actually stabbed. I've been stabbed before.
What?
Yeah. And another time when I was 19, and then it happened again when I was like close to 21, 20.
Wait, you got stabbed 3 times?
No, I've been robbed. I've been held at gunpoint. I've been stabbed. All of that. And this is all in my DJing days because I used to be in the Bronx. I used to be in Brooklyn. And the parties, I would go
Bronx
outside.
and Brooklyn, it says
3
a
in the
lot.
morning, I'm outside, and they're like, "Yo, this guy's by himself. Go get him." You know, all of that.
Yeah.
So one day when I'm like 22, I decided to get my book, which was what we call the Ita book. You can sort of relate it to your book of life.
I love that.
Because literally everything is written in there.
Okay.
I was initiated when I was 5. I was a little boy. I was 5 years old, so I've had that book there forever.
So when you say initiation, is it and you were 5 years old, is it something like, you know, people talk about baptism, like, you know, you get baptized when you're little, but then you have a choice when you get older to get baptized if you want to, you know.
Okay.
Is it anything like that, baptism?
Not like baptism.
Okay.
No, it's not like the church. We do say the person should be, and this is with the not the Nigerian style, this is the Afro-Cuban style.
Okay.
We do say the person should get baptized before doing anything religiously. Receive a blessing from God first, and then come look at the Orishas and everything else. Excuse me. I worded it wrong, not initiated. I was initiated probably when I was like 2. I was crowned. When I was 5 years old. I crowned Obadala. And Yemaya is my mother. And the Orisha that birthed me, which means the person who crowned me, their Orisha that they have crowned is Ochun.
Okay.
I was crowned at 5 years old. And obviously at 5 years old, a child doesn't know what they have. They don't know the seriousness of this. They don't know, you know, a child isn't going to be responsible for anything.
Right.
At 5 years old, you don't know anything. You're just 5. So I've had that book there since I was 5, that Ita book, the book of life that I said. And one day when I was like 22-ish, around there, I decided to open it just to read through. I was like, out of curiosity, let me just look at this thing. Let me, you know, and then I'm looking, I'm like, shit.
Was there anything happening at that time in your life where you're like, let me go peep what's going on in this book?
Yeah. A lot of things that I went through was written in that book.
Wow.
It didn't actually say to detail how it happened, but it was saying, hey, you shouldn't dress like this. You shouldn't try to look like anybody. You shouldn't mimic anybody. If this is in style, you don't do what's in style. You do this. At that time, braids were in style. I used to have cornrows and all of that. I used to get my hair braided. People call me Carmelo. People call me a bunch of different celebrity names. And I was like, yeah, I'm going with this style. I got braids and everything. I had cornrows and all of that. And the first time when I got stabbed when I was 18, it came out that they confused me for somebody else.
Wow.
They thought I was somebody they were looking for. And this happened in broad daylight. This wasn't like late at night or nothing. This is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday.
Wow.
You know, so, and I started to realize like, damn, like I could have avoided a whole lot of shit that I've gone through.
Because the book of life was already telling you, don't look like or be anyone else.
Exactly.
Wow.
Don't walk in areas like this. Don't talk to people like that. Don't associate with these kind of people. Not to discriminate anybody, but you shouldn't be around these people.
So this book of life, if you were already getting messages or some understanding about what to do and what not to do, is it specific for each individual? Does everyone have their own book of life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Lily, who is crowned, she has her own book of life. We may have some similarities because there's times where we might have what we call a sign. We might have it, but it's spoken to her differently than it would be spoken to me because we're two separate people. Some things might be similar, but hey, Lily, when you go here, you make a left, and you're going to the same place, but you go make a right.
Okay,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's not gonna be the same for anybody. It never is.
Lily's crowned.
Yep.
Okay, girl.
Yep, I was crowned in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 12. I was 12 and I was crowned Obatala, and that's my father, and then my mother is Yemaya. But thank you. But I have a very strong connection with the Orisha they called Ochun. And everyone thought that I was going to be Ochun. But I was 12. I didn't know. I was still like scared on. I wouldn't say scared. I knew it was something that was going to happen because like he is, I'm also born in a religion. It's something that we see growing up. But I just didn't know things. You know, I just know that, okay, at a certain age, he had at 5, which is much younger. I had it in my family, 10, 11, 12 was most of it. And that's when they did it to me. I already knew it was coming. So when they said, "Hey, it's time to crown you," I was like, "All right, cool, it's my turn."
Wow.
But the only thing that I did not that I learned now as an adult is I wish I would have known the knowledge. Now I wish I was crowned older so I could take it in more than when I was 12. 12 I was a kid.
Yeah.
To have a better understanding.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you talk about Oshun and Yemaya, what are I guess similarities, or how do you tell the difference between Yemaya and Oshun?
You want to take this one or you want me to take it?
You're our guest.
They're sisters.
They're sisters. Okay.
Yes, they're sisters. So you could even be I don't know. There's something called hija de las dos aguas. So it's daughter of both waters because Ochun, she's represented by the river. Yemaya is represented by the ocean. At one point, the river meets the ocean, so they're considered sisters. So there's a connection. There's a connection. But I really want to. This is a very important culture. This is really, really close. So sharing this today is just
I mean, a lot of people aren't going to be ready for it, but our intention is that the people who can hear, may they receive and be open-minded, and that's just all.
So with that being said, I also want this to be a learning experience. So I think we need to explain what are Orishas.
Yes.
And who writes the book of life for us.
Yes.
Because that's one thing. We have that book, but who is telling us this? And that's my question for you.
Yes.
I know a little bit.
From the way beginning, who wrote this stuff, you mean?
Not who wrote this, but when we seek the guidance, or when we that book, when we have the Ita.
When you have it, okay, I get you now.
So who is giving that? Who knows our path, basically?
That's a great question. Yeah, I want to know.
Who was it that said you shouldn't wear this, you shouldn't wear that?
That's all in, I would say, your destiny and in the signs that come out for you. The Orishas, even before your crown, have been watching you. Especially if you come from a religious family, but overall, the Orishas are everywhere. There's Orishas here now.
Just like our ancestors or our guides.
Precisely.
Okay.
We have that belief that the day you are born, that you take your first breath, and the baby crying and all of that, there's a guardian angel that's there. And what I mean by guardian angel is not necessarily an Orisha, but a spirit. A spirit that's going to be there for the rest of your life to the day you pass on, that protects you. We say in Spanish, guía y protector. That spirit is with you forever. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an ancestor, somebody who's in your family. It could just be a spirit from it could be a spirit who was an Indian when they were alive. You know what I'm saying? It could be a spirit who was an African. It could be a spirit who was a gypsy.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? It's just there. God wanted that spirit to protect you from the moment you were born. So who are the Orishas, you asked me? The Orishas are what we call deities who are in touch or have the powers of nature. So what you were just saying, Ochung, the river,
It all connects back to
also
nature.
love, the beauty. Ochung is everything that represents woman, femininity. That's Ochung. That's why for us, we worship women so much, especially a babalao.
Can you say that one more time, please?
We worship women. I'll dive more into that later too.
I like it here.
So sexy, okay.
Yemaya is what we consider, like Mother Nature. She's a bit older. Yes, they're sisters, but Yemaya is more of a mother figure.
Okay.
She's older. She's the ocean as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Oya, Yangsa Hekwahe. She's the winds, the strong winds. That's Oya. She's, she also takes part with the whole lightning thing with Chango. Those
very respected.
In touch with, yes, very respected. Strong personality as well. Chango, thunder and lightning. Ogun is everything, all this technology. That is Ogun. There's a saying, and it comes from Cuba. They have this thing like, people who are sons of Ogun, they're usually brutes. They're brute strength. They're strong people, but they're dumb. No. Ogun is everything that is intelligent.
Wow.
They say brute because they see the story of what happened to Ogun, where he became a slave to work. He enslaved himself for something that he did, where he cursed himself. He said, "From this day forward, I will work day and night tirelessly." But that doesn't just mean like brute force work. It's also, say a doctor or surgeon, and a doctor who's on call all the time. Sometimes they got to wake up at 2 a.m. when they were sleeping and go to work. That's Ogun's work. You're working all the time. You're a slave to your job, no matter how great or terrible the job is. No matter what you're doing, you're a slave to your job.
That sounds like he spoke that over himself.
He took it on himself because he didn't want his father to curse him.
Wow.
So he said, "Father, don't curse me. I will curse myself for something that he did." There's as well, what are the Orishas? Elegua, the guardian of the path. There's Elegua. He represents a child, but he's actually the eldest son of Obadala. He's older than Chango. He's older than Ogun. Elegua, he's one of the Orishas, you could say, holds the keys to all your doors.
Yep.
He can close the door and lock it, or he can open it and say, "Go this way." He can put you on the wrong path.
To teach you a lesson.
Like, "Oh, you want to mess with me? Okay, go over there."
So would he be considered a trickster? Because we talked about
it's funny you said that.
Yeah, we talked about Papa Legba before, me and Lily, and I'm really curious about Papa Legba. So when you say he can open doors, close doors, or put you on the wrong path to trick you, is he associated with Papa Legba? If I'm saying Papa Legba,
you could say it, and if that's how you refer to him in your culture, in the Haitian culture, Papa Elegba or Elegua, Eleguara. There's different ways to pronounce the name.
Okay.
But he's pretty much the same, Elegua. There's also Echu. There's Echu and there's Elegua. They're one and the same, but different. Echu is more the dark side, what we consider the dark side of Elegua, whereas Elegua we consider the light side. You know what I'm saying? Echu is the deity that only us babalaos give. We don't give Elegua. They may look the same sometimes. People may confuse them to be the same things, but they're not.
When you say give, what do you mean?
In your initiation process, we give you an Echu. An Echu, and in the initiation process, what I mean in the babalao's case is we give you what we call hand of Orula, mano de Orula, where you'll receive something like that, what Lily has. But I would say if I'm the godfather, I give a basic one first.
Okay.
Just with the little beads. And then eventually when we find out who your guardian angel is, in her case it's Obadala, she has it with the little bit of white there.
Got you. Okay.
You get it? You buy that after. Say, hey, okay, now that we know you have to crown such and such Orisha, go buy one with her colors on it just so you can represent her and we identify you. You get what I'm saying? So we would give you an Echu in that initiation. You will receive an Ogun as well and what we call Osun. Osun, you'll see it if you go to a botanica, it's like a rooster, a metal pole and then a rooster on the top. But that represents the person. So long as that is standing, you are standing. That represents your health, your stability, your strength. That's Osun.
I've seen roosters in Haitian women's house all the time with the stick and then the rooster right on top.
Mhm.
Wow.
So they were. I don't know too much about the Haitian side. I know a little bit, but they more or less work with the same things we do, just a little bit differently.
I'm still a student of all of this, so.
But also it's very important. That's something that we protect a lot because we always say, don't ever let this fall. This is like, treat it like glass, like fragile, right on the back, fragile glass. Please put it there. Make sure nobody bumps into it, nobody kicks it, nobody trips over it, nothing.
Okay.
That we try to make sure that you understand the seriousness of that also.
Okay.
You know, so those are the Orishas. And you had asked me who is it that tells us what you can't do, what you can do.
Yes,
with the
in the
right?
book of
That when you crown, or even when you receive your hand of Orula, we have an ita as well. And for me as well, when I received Ifa, became a babalao, they had a book for me, my ita. It's all in the signs that come out. So for the Ocha side, they deal more with certain numbers. We don't do numbers. So for us, it's like scratchings or little marks and little circles that we do. How we write our signs is differently. But it's all in the signs. The signs say, hey, you shouldn't wear red, or you shouldn't dress in black no more. You shouldn't walk around these kind of people. You shouldn't hang out with those kind. Don't work this kind of job. Don't stand anywhere up high. You know, standing on ladders, things like that.
Wow. Don't
get caught in the rain, things like that. It's all in the signs, and it's giving you advice of what not to do so things won't go bad for you. It tells you don't date certain people. People who are daughters or sons of certain Orishas, stay away from them. It tells you things like that as well. And sometimes it sucks because I've seen plenty of times where a couple will come in their itam saying, hey, you got to stay away from daughters of this or sons of that. And when the boyfriend or girlfriend comes second, and oh snap, they're a daughter or son of that Orisha.
Now they looking like.
I was like, well, you guys are already together. I'm not telling you to break up.
But they're not supposed to be together.
Try and protect your matrimony. And I say matrimony even if you're not married. Protect your relationship. Try and have more understanding now. Learn to talk to each other more now. Learn to understand each other more now.
But isn't it kind of like the inevitable? Because if you're saying you're not supposed to date, you know, particular person, how are you going to try to protect it?
It's not that I'm saying they're going to break up for sure.
Okay.
But they're going to have issues.
I want to know if in the book of life it's telling you not to date a particular person and you end up dating that person. You mentioned that to protect the relationship, stay in communication, but is it not the inevitable that they will break up if you're not supposed to date this person?
Not that they will break up, but they're definitely going to have their fights and their issues. God forbid there's any infidelity from one of them, or simply there's just one of them they drink too much and they might end up getting violent, or whatever it is. They're gonna have issues. This is what I would say, and like, you guys are gonna have issues. That's why you shouldn't date anybody who's a daughter or son of this Oricha.
Okay.
But you guys were already together. God forgives the innocent. You know. But you guys are going to have trouble. Whether you break up will be your decisions. We're not going to make you break up. We're not going to tell you to break up. If you want to stay in a relationship and keep going through whatever it is you're going through, and then you're seeing it's not going good, that's up to you. We will never force anything upon you, but I'm telling you right now, you guys are going to have issues.
And that's one thing that what we've spoken before, as far as like everyone we decide to date, our experiences.
Right.
You know, we have our ancestors that, yes, they guide us, but we're supposed to learn things, because living, you're learning. It's a learning journey the whole time. So having that in your book of life, saying don't date this person, we are children at the end of the day, and we see fire, we want to touch it. Okay, it's like you're gonna find out why you got burned. You need to learn why.
Yeah.
So it's like, just because they say not to date, they already know why you shouldn't. Now you have to find out why you shouldn't.
Exactly. Sometimes they'll make it happen just so you'll have the understanding of, well, okay, now I know why I can't do this.
Makes sense.
It's that guys. I've been there before.
Sometimes it's better for. That's why a lot of times we like to initiate you when you're young, so you'll know from young, instead of it happening to you, you know, in your 30s or 40s when you're already an adult and you're like, damn, I went through this now. I wish I would have gone through this when I was 17 or 18, maybe. Which is different.
Could you have ever had the opportunity, or can someone choose not to be initiated? Like, Ma, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I see it all the time.
Does that harm them in any way, or?
It could. Sometimes it doesn't, but it could. If the person, let's say, for example, I have kids, just to make myself an example. If say I don't have kids, but let's say if I did, I'm a person who's working the religion heavy, like super heavy. There's people coming in and out of my house. They come in, they're gonna leave their stuff. I'm doing stuff so that they leave better than when they came in. Their stuff stays behind. My kids don't have any type of spiritual protection. They're gonna pick up whatever it is that person left behind.
Got you.
So that's why sometimes I stress the importance to people when they have kids, like, hey, eventually you're going to need to put your kids in this if you're going to be around this a lot, working this stuff. Okay. You need to do it because you're going to be working with people, and people have different energy, and something can happen to your kid.
I have because as far as the what if, right? Depending on your household, it comes from different. What do they say? Is it cadenas or
Rama?
Yes, rama. How would I
branch?
Okay,
A different branch.
So your household, or how you got crowned, or like they'll say in this household, everybody has to be crowned. So if you're in a house, everyone has to be crowned. Now, you'll have that one rebellious one, right? In my family, it was my brother. Okay, I had not had, but I have a brother that he is no longer here with us, right? And when my mother got crowned, they told her, this was before we were all born, they told her, hey, everyone in your household needs to be crowned. That's going to protect them. The person who does not get crowned, they're not. And one of those things, it happened. It's one of those confirmations. It happened before I got crowned. So it's what scared my mom, and like, wait a minute, because my oldest brother, he's crowned. My brother was supposed to be next. He says he didn't want to do it.
Wow.
He didn't want to do it. And by the time my mom was on him trying to, but why not? He was getting lost in the world. He was lost. He was doing things he wasn't supposed to do. That maybe if he would have been crowned and he would have seen the book of life, of the book of his life, he would have been in situations that, was meant. He's even been, we even took him one time. My mom tried. I'm not gonna lie. She tried. And they told, not a babalao, but a oba, which we're gonna exactly speak on who an oba is also. Oba told him what he's not gonna learn in life, he will learn on the other side. Wow. And that still did not change his mind. By the time that he was maybe thinking about it, and he was it was already there was too much trouble. It was like he was too deep into it, that now he's trying to look for a way out, and it was just too late.
Wow.
It was just too late. And it was one of those ones when we found out the call, he was murdered. So it was a very very fast. My mom ran straight and she fell in front of Yemaya. Wow. Because we have an altar, and she was just praying. But, as far as he's in the hospital, so we're like, please, But it's one of those, like, that's how strong we connect to our ancestors. But sometimes we connect to our ancestors when we need them the most. In that moment, my mom was like, I can't save my son. Please give me a miracle. But the thing is that she was already told
that this was going to happen.
Exactly. So it's like, we told you, though. You didn't believe us. You didn't. Now I wouldn't say you didn't push him enough, but this was said. It was something that she could have, I wouldn't say could have avoided, but maybe she should have showed more love into the religion to make him feel more protected, but he felt protected in the street instead of at home.
So let me ask you,
it's deep.
Yeah, that's really, really deep. The fact that this book of life is showing you or telling you what's going to happen. And once your mom becomes crowned and she knows like everybody needs to be protected in the house, and whoever's not protected just won't be under the protection, right?
That was for that ranch though. Like I wouldn't say it's everybody,
Okay.
but at least in our household, we were told that. So yes.
So there was nothing that she could have done to be like, no, you're doing this. Or it's kind of like, free will, like, hey, I don't want to be a part, and that's just
every
what it is.
parent's different, like that's why it's always better to do it how my parents did to me when I was 5.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'm just going along with it. When you're little, what you think your parents are doing is like amazing. Whatever mom and dad does is fine. It's cool. It's when you try to get them as a teenager where it's like they're like, what? Like, no.
Okay.
Like how I was. Oh, that story correlates to how I grew up. I was just like, even though they initiated me when I was 5, I wasn't around anything. I wasn't trying to learn anything. I wasn't trying to do anything during my teenage years. I was just like, no, like I don't care. And a lot of things happened to me. I'm alive today by the grace of God. I really am. And I was never a person that was out there in the street like doing bad things. I never gang banged. I never sold drugs. But I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot.
Right.
And things happened.
You're around the people that did those things.
And hung out with a lot of those people. That's true. A lot of my friends did a lot of that stuff up in New York.
So what if you like you're initiated, but you don't want to know what's going to happen? Is that like because it's almost like with other religions, or people think about, oh, read my fortune. Like I don't want to know what's gonna happen. So once you get this book of life,
we don't play games over here.
You know what's going to
there.
happen.
Yeah, they spoke to you. Because they didn't just write it down and said, here, read it whenever you get time. No. Somebody else is writing it, but somebody else is in front of you saying, you this, that, you this, the third, you need to do this, you shouldn't do that, you should do this, you should do that. And you can even ask a question, certain questions that can be answered yes or no, like, can I do this? Yes or no. Can I do that? Yes or no.
Okay.
So we can, like, you are warned. You are told. And not everybody wants to follow.
That's a conversation I had with you before, as far as like when people want to seek guidance in this, or at least just to get closer to your ancestors, you have to be ready.
Yes.
You have to be ready. You have to be very strong.
One thing I'd like to say, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Elise. This religion isn't just, because I see a lot of people do this. They just go to the botanicas and they buy beads.
Yes,
and
some Florida
like,
water.
Yes, and this and the spirits and oh my God, I'm in touch. No, you're not. No, you're not.
So you can't just like spray some Florida water.
No,
and burn a 7-day candle
and put on the beads.
You can burn
like no.
You can burn as much sage as you want.
Okay.
What is Florida water?
Water from anywhere in Florida. Nah.
Well, we call it agua florida, but
it's a certain perfume.
But is it Florida water though? Like, what do they get it from Florida?
No, they just call it that. That's the name of the company, I guess, or the brand name. But it's a perfume. There's certain perfumes that we use in what we call a spiritual mass. This is one of the sectors of the religion. How I like to break down the religion is in 4 sectors. This is where I told you I'm going to bring math into it. There's subtraction and division. There's addition and multiplication. So let's go with subtraction and division. They're both similar. The sums go down, but they're still different because they go down differently, right? So there's the spiritual stuff, the mass, where, not so much like a mass in church, even though that's a mass as well. But it's a mass where, let's say in your house, you have a table, a white cloth over it. There's 7 to 9 cups on there with water, filled with water. There's a crucifix. There's the perfumes. There's cigars. There's this little white thing called cascarilla. And there's usually about 2 or 3 mediums.
Mediums. What are mediums?
Mediums, people who are connected with the spirits. Mediums who doesn't necessarily mean they get possessed, even though they can, but also they receive messages and you won't even see it. They're just, when you go to work, you do this and this and this and that, right? And you're just like, yeah.
That no one knows.
That no one knows. They receive those messages right there. And sometimes they look in a glass and the water and they're like, and there I see this person that looks just like this, like this, like that. Do you know of a person that's like, oh my God, that's my grandmother who passed away?
Wow.
They see things. They have a vision. They have a foresight that's just,
Way beyond.
unexplainable. It's way beyond exactly
But these are like your ancestors, or these are physical.
what they're seeing.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, the people
if
that
they're
are
with
there.
you, yeah, I guess they're with you. I don't know if
They
they're
see.
ancestors.
These
or
are people that could see
medium.
your
Yeah.
ancestor.
They see your ancestors. Yeah, you
so
don't
they
know them
can be
from a
like
hole
you
in
can
the wall.
actually touch them, like they're
Yeah,
The
yeah.
medium.
they're
Yeah.
medium.
The
Okay,
person
so
they
it's not-
just
Mhm.
know how to unlock that
Exactly.
passageway that they could speak, because sometimes you don't know that this ancestor is next to you,
Precisely.
or you don't know who is taking care of
Lily,
you.
if Lily was more on top of it, she could be one of those people.
Mm.
If she was more, like in it. I'm not trying to badge you. Badge you.
No, it's cool because it's a learn. Like I said, I'm learning myself too. So
Esto, ¿cómo se dice? Pero, sorry. Usually when I talk
So,
religion, I'm
Como se
talking in
dice,
Spanish.
Okay.
the Spanish.
I love it. No, I'm trying to learn Spanish too.
So that's the
We all
spiritual.
learn.
That's a spiritual mass. There's usually about 4 or 5 other people. You're sitting in a circle, and the table's right there, for example, and
Okay.
you're all singing certain songs, things like that. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Mhm.
The importance of who you have at your spiritual mass.
Mm.
How important it is to certain
Like, is
people.
it
I'm
invite
asking
only,
you,
or-
like, can you have anybody there? Or should you have people?
Can and should are two different things.
Okay, so who should you have? I want my bestie, the one I go out to the drink, to the club. I need her to be there because she's my ride or die.
You
Hell no,
should
I don't need her
okay.
there. She-
Who
Hell no.
you should have, or let's just start with behavioral part right now.
Please.
Somebody who can sit still for a couple of hours, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours even. That can just sit down and
Cross that
concentrate.
person out.
Not somebody who's gonna be standing up every 5 seconds. Oh, I gotta go outside and smoke a cigarette.
long?
Oh, I gotta go. No, it's because you're
How long
breaking
it's
the
gonna take?
connection.
Got
You
you.
Mhm.
understand? So let's go there first. Second, of course, you want people you're comfortable with, some family members or a
Yeah.
friend. If you know if that friend can do this and has an open mind to it, you
Mhm.
bring that friend there. And of course, you want the mediums there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you don't always have to do it with the medium, you could just do it with people who, as long as you're doing the stuff with the table correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the songs that need to be sung and the prayers that need to be prayed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that. You feel you get closer with your ancestors that way as well too. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one part. Now the other part that's similar to that is el palo mayombe, a Congo, which comes from the Congo part of
Mhm.
Africa, and Guinea, where you'll see, maybe you've seen it in movies. They have like a pot. It's a bunch of sticks. Sometimes you might see a skull there.
Yeah.
Things like that. That's the more darker side of it. And even though it's still used for good, even though I say darker because it's more powerful, you see more there.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, and sometimes you might feel it more too. You're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ceremony that they do, the palero. He does it's called a scratching. That's initiation on that side. I don't do any of that.
Okay.
I went through it before I was a babalao when I was very small. I've gone through that ceremony where I've been scratched. I've been scratched twice.
Like physically scratched?
Let's just leave it at it's scratching.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, like there's that. They're both very similar because they both deal with spirits.
Mm-hmm.
For them, there's spirits in that pot that they
Mm-hmm.
have. There's spirits in that pot, and then there's spirits that come when you're doing a spiritual mass. Because that's smoke from the tobacco and smoke from the incense calls the good spirits. That brings the spirits. Like they're like drawn to that. They see that and they're just like, wow, what's going on here? Like I feel like you guys are like, like this is like heavenly for us. Like, oh, we're gonna hang out here with you guys.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows you, who knew you when they were alive, or your guardian angel who was there when you were born, they come and they present themselves there, and the medium will say, hey, you have a guardian angel who's like this and like that and like that.
And then like he's standing right
They're
next
right
to you,
next to you.
arm is crossed,
Mhm.
just making sure that nothing
Goes down.
Exactly.
I know that's
Precisely.
right.
So those are two sectors of the religion where I say division and subtraction. They're similar, but they're still different.
Mm-hmm.
Similar, but still different. Then let's go to the other two sectors, addition and multiplication.
Right.
There's the Ocha, Santeros, and there's Ifa, the babalaos. I've been initiated in both. Before I became a babalao, I was initiated and crowned Ocha. There, like I said, their signs are like numbers, and they deal with cowrie shells. You see, like I have a couple up here.
There's a couple
Little
of cowrie
Yes.
shells. Yep.
I was gonna ask you about your attire.
Mhm,
We'll get into that.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Their divination system was with the cowries.
Mhm.
They throw the cowrie shells, and depending which how they fall, they say, okay, here's the number 6 and here's the number 8. 6 and 8 for them. Obara tonti eyeunle.
What language is this?
Yeah. So what language is this?
That's Yoruba. That's not Spanish at all.
At all.
Okay.
Exactly.
It sounds Spanish because I'm speaking with a Spanish accent when I say it,
Mhm.
but it's Yoruba. That is not from Cuba. It's not from Puerto Rico. That's African.
Yes.
Obara tonti eyeunle. You know that, and there's a conversation in that sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the signs that say, hey, if you're a son of Chango, stay away from daughters of Ochun, you can't crown them. Or if you're a daughter of Ochun, you stay away from sons of Chango and daughters of Chango, you cannot crown them.
Wow. Okay.
Obara tonti eyeunle. Or for us in Ifa, if that sign comes out, it will be a different way. We say Obara bobe, Obara obe. We pronounce it a little bit different. We don't say the tonti.
Okay.
That tonti word is for the santero, not for the babalao.
Where have I heard santero before?
A santero, a person, a babadoricha or iyadoricha. We say santera, feminine.
Okay.
That's a
Santero.
Spanish word, santero. That's Hispanic.
Well,
Yes.
Santero,
Okay.
santera.
You've probably heard it as far as when you say it's someone who practices santeria.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who practices
'Cause
santeria.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Santo is Spanish for saint.
Mhm.
Okay.
The saints are, who in the Catholic Church you see the saints,
Mm-hmm.
even the archangels, they say Saint Gabriel, Saint Michael, Saint Raphael, things like that. The saints, Santo, San Miguel, San Rafael, Santo
Mhm.
Tomás, so those are the lichas. We both have a very similar divination system where with the Ifa side, it's much deeper. We have more story. We have much more conversation on the Ifa side. It's way deep. Nobody. That's why we always say nobody could ever know everything of Ifa. Nobody.
Right.
Mhm.
It's impossible. It's too much knowledge. It's so much knowledge.
Mhm.
So much history.
There's so much in there to.
Wow.
And we have this saying in Spanish: "El que mucho abarca, poco aprieta." The person who tries to take in so much isn't able to really get a squeeze on it a much. You're not able to hold on to that knowledge.
Too much.
You'll get this knowledge, but then you end up forgetting this because you just learned so much over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where we're similar, we both work with the Orishas. You can look at Orula sort of like a PCP, a primary care doctor.
Okay.
He refers you to the Orisha. Hey, in the reading, okay, Orula wants you to go work with Elegua. Another reading, Orula wants you to go work with Ochun. Another reading, Orula wants you to go so-and-so work with the spirits today. Don't even touch the Orishas. Work with the spirits.
I want to know, because I hear so much about, like, when we talked about Oshun or Yamaya. My question is, can someone be rejected from what they deem to be like their spirit, and forgive me because I'm still getting used to it, but if it's like
You're good. I
their
get you.
like their ancestor, their spirit guide, or who they're connected to the most, can someone be rejected from being Yemaya or Oshun?
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
this
See.
in Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
the two most popular Orishas are Chango and Ochu. All the manly men, they want to be child of Chango because he's the womanizer, he's the player, he's the king, he's the macho man.
Okay.
And the women, they want to be daughters of Ochun because she's the beautiful, she's the seductive,
Happy,
she's honey, she's Ochun.
Sweet, attractive. Anytime you want
I love that.
little thing of love, it's Ochun.
It's all these things,
Yeah.
and they fall in love with these Orishas. Like, yes, I have to crown this. Like, I really want to crown it. I really want to crown it. And then when it's time, it's that Orisha doesn't want.
So you don't choose your Orisha.
You don't choose your Orisha. You do not choose your Orisha. You don't choose, yes, I want to crown a babala. No, we don't give you an option. What we do, at least in the Ifa side, when we give you hand of Orula, boom, 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 we take out your sign, we give you the conversation of everything, and then we say, okay, now it's time to find out your guardian angel. I may ask you, hey, who do you think could be your guardian angel? Just anybody.
Or who do you
Just
feel too?
Who do you feel close to? What do you like? Do you like the ocean? Do you like the mountains? Do you like the woods? Do you like nature? What do you feel most drawn to?
I'm big into nature.
And I will give you that satisfaction of asking if it's that one, whoever you said. Sometimes there's been times where the person's been right, even though they know nothing else. There's been times the person's been right, but there's a lot of times, more often than not, it's not what they want.
Oh my gosh, what's that disappointment like?
Sometimes some people are like, oh, whatever, but other people are like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, how can that? Nah, they get down. And I'm like, hey, don't feel bad. That doesn't mean the Orisha just doesn't give two fucks about you. That doesn't mean that. It's just not the one that you have to crown. You're destined for somebody else.
And they don't need to like go into this somber of, oh my God, I'm not Oshun, or
you're still gonna get protected.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have someone to guide you, because at the end of the day, you do go after, when you get crowned, they all go home with you.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Precisely. She's right on the money. You still get all of them. This is more how we've been doing it, I would say, since the late 1800s to the early 1900s.
Say what?
Where you get everybody. Because before that, when the religion first got to Cuba, it was just, and even in Africa, they would just give you the one you need to crown and an elegua, which goes into what we call the signs, pata y cabeza. You won't really know what I'm talking about, but she has an idea because she's crowned. Where it's just those two that give you advice, and you just take those two home. But now, once it got a little bit more Cubanized and more Afro-Cuban, better said, you started taking more Orishas home in your crowning ceremony. Depending which Orisha you crown, you come out with a different number of Orishas. So say if you crown Yemaya, you'll get less than everybody else. Not that it's a bad thing. It's not bad. Oh, look, you're Yemaya, so you're not going to get this one and this one. No. It's not a bad thing. That's just the process. That's how that one is done. Like for me, Obatala, I got certain number of Orishas, but my ceremony had to be done at night. My ceremony is not done in the day. Obatala ceremony is done at night. If you want to do an Obatala correctly, properly, to the T, by the book, it's done at night. It's not done in the day.
Wow.
He's not an Orisha that works in the daytime. If I want to do certain things with my Obatala, I have to wait for the sun to go down and do it with my Obatala.
And every Orisha has their own thing that you have to honor, right?
Tomorrow, actually, December 4th, in the whole Afro-Cuban, the synchronization with the Catholic saints is El Dia de Santa Barbara, Saint Barbara, who we synchronize it with the Orisha Chango. December 4th is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Chango Day. So tonight, really, when I get home, whatever time, I'm going to put on a Chango. And then tomorrow in the morning, I'm going to light 2 candles and talk to my Chango. And I'll be calling a bunch of people who I know have Chango crowned and say, happy Chango Day. I hope you bring a lot of blessings, etc. I'm going to go see my dad because he has crowned Chango and he's planning to do something for his Chango. So it's every Orisha has his day. Now, this came with the syncretism. You can celebrate on Orisha any day. Like, because if it was just on their day, you would only see people doing parties on their day.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? But no, I could do a party for Obatala day after tomorrow. But Obatala Day is September 24th in the syncretism. El Día de la Virgen de la Mercedes. And you can celebrate the Orishas any day. Now, El Egua in particular is an Orisha you should tend to every Monday. As early as possible in the morning before you go out to the street. You tend to your Legua. That's an Orisha that he likes the attention. He wants a lot of attention. And also, I would say he's a very jealous Orisha too. Like if you, say in the reading, okay, do this with your Ochung and put that to your Ochung, you should do something for Legua too.
Okay.
Just so he don't feel left out.
Okay.
Because Legua will be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I don't care.
And he's the trickster, so
I don't care if Ochung is coming to defend you.
You're not going to do something
of the crossroads.
Yes,
on
exactly.
Monday. Yes.
He's the one at the crossroads there standing there. He's the one at the crossroads standing there like, you go this way or you go that way.
Yeah. Speaking of crossroads, so when you said like, I'm getting it, I, coming from like, being in the church, my grandpa being a pastor, and like, again, this was never talked about whatsoever. So for me to be sitting here today, like years ago, I would have been like, I know you lying. Ain't no way I'm in the middle of whatever this is, right?
Wow.
But now, yeah, but then, you know, through dreams or just like conversations with the most random people throughout the years, and I feel called to know the other side of the street. That's how I'll break it down. Like you have the right side, but they always tell you look both ways before crossing the street, right? So
Yes.
I feel like this part of spirituality has been shunned and not spoken of, but a lot of the times it's protected me and I don't even know everything. So, you know, I just want to like shine light on that, you know, we shouldn't be scared, but most people are, right?
Yeah.
And I have a question, right?
Yes.
Why is your practice, your religion is, by history, we know that it's way older than Christianity and many other religions, right? But why is it so easy for someone to believe that Jesus existed, right? And it's so hard for them to believe that your religion is real, your practice is real.
Right.
There's this thing, and it's funny.
Sorry, back into producer mode, talking to the mic.
Oh. There's this thing that actually comes from the Bible. It comes from, you could say, Christianity or Catholicism. Saint Thomas, who was one of Jesus, the apostles, right? Those are the ones who followed him.
Yes.
I'm saying it right.
You gotta fact check that before getting in trouble.
Santo Tomás. They say in Spanish we say Santo Tomás, ver para creer. Saint Thomas, seeing is believing. That's what Jesus said to him when he didn't want to believe the miracles that Jesus did. And that's how a lot of people are today, since they don't actually see an Orisha. They have to see the actual thing happen, like what you said, tell them happen, to really somewhat believe. And even then, they're still in denial. This religion is very old, like you said. It goes back before Jesus. I don't want to say before Christianity, because Christianity is even older than Jesus. There were people who spoke about the coming of Jesus, so Christianity was still alive. But this religion's way before Jesus, even before Moses. And it's just been shunned when the slaves were brought over, at least the American slave owners, to not say, not to get dive too deep into that. They took away the religion from their slaves. They forced them into Christianity. They forced them into you're just going to believe in a white Jesus and that's it. And, Malcolm X told them, hey, Jesus wasn't white. Jesus was, a pale, right? He had brown, he had hair like wool, all those things. Malcolm X knew the truth. He was like, yo, like, this is like this. Like, don't believe that shit. So.
No, I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Where we have, especially us Caribbean people, I'll say, not just Cubans, Caribbean. Our slave masters didn't take that away from us, especially the Spaniards. The Spaniards were like, no, you can still believe, but you're just going to believe in this as well. That's where the synchronism came. That's where Changos or Santa Barbara or Batalá, La Merced, the Gua, St. Anthony, Ogun, St. Peter, San Pedro, things like that. Sort of synchronism came, and, we were able to sort of, I guess, mix and match, if that's the correct term. But it's just people shy away once they see that we're doing blood and guts and we're sacrificing and stuff like that, when all the religions have animal sacrifice. In Christianity, Moses told them over there during the plagues, when he was fighting for the freedom and everything, he told them, hey, sacrifice the lamb, wipe its blood on the head of the door, and death will not find you this night.
Right.
They sacrificed animals. The Jews sacrifice a bull. The Muslims sacrifice certain animals as well. They do their own. Everybody has animals. Ours is just more, I guess you would say, public. And we do, I would like to think we do more animal sacrifice than everybody else. Especially now, since it's not just El Guanda or Richa you crowned. It's everybody you're coming in with. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So there's more animal sacrifices. There's more chickens. There's more this. There's more that. So we get shunned for that. They see. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I had I didn't want to go too far, but as far as when you were saying they start synchronizing, what I've known or what I was able to read as far as when the slaves and Catholicism was that they were forcing the slaves to learn this, and then the slaves were tricking, or they so that they would so the slave masters would think that they're praying to this person. They just kind of um just matched
Yeah,
Obatala with. So I heard that. I never
that
really
as well.
heard
No, you're not
them
wrong.
working together
You're not
or
wrong.
learning both of them together. I that's what I was told.
You're not wrong about that either. That happened like that too. Now, where I'm saying my part is, remember, some of the Spaniards ended up getting initiated. Some of the white Spanish people ended up, oh my God, yes, I want a crown too.
I want
I
power.
want to do this. So, hey guys, just to make sure, believe in this stuff too. Let's match.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see it now. There's white Cubans in
So
the
anybody
religion.
can be crowned?
Anybody. This religion is for everybody.
Everyone.
The Orisha side is for everybody, and it doesn't tell you to stop working another religion either. You can be Muslim, still follow the Muslim laws, and be crowned whatever Orisha you crowned.
I didn't know that.
It doesn't discriminate.
I'm actually curious about because again, you're 33 dating. I want to know, because to me you seem like such a powerful person and you have so much knowledge, right? Can you just date any and everybody, or is it like you can't just date Tiffany from down the street because she
That's a good question.
hoeing? Ooh, I'm just
Even if
She
she
went
not-
straight to
even
the
if she
point
not-
there, guys.
I'm just saying, I just want to know, or
Okay. Hoes aside.
a hoe, please. Sorry, y'all.
Hoes
I digress.
aside.
Hoe aside.
Hoe aside. We're not going to talk about anybody hoeing. That word is irrelevant right now.
I digress.
Let's just say it's the perfect woman, but she's not in the religion.
Yes.
Right? Let's go there. Can I? Yeah. I'm not prohibited.
Okay.
Should I? Probably not, because she's not going to understand this. And even if she says, it's fine, you can still do it. No, because there's going to be a lot of times where I need her to be here, present, and doing certain things. And if sometimes I'm a babalao, I can read myself every day. That's one of the advantages I have of being a babalao.
When you say read yourself,
I can the divine for myself, find out how my day is going to go.
oh wow.
I can literally see that every day for myself. And there's going to be a lot of times where my girlfriend is going to come out in my reading, especially if she's living with me, and say, hey, babe, you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. And if she's not down with the shits.
So it sounds like a woman plays a really important part in this practice.
Yes. Okay, so for the Orisha side, women, when the Africans came, the first, you heard her say before, Oba, Oriate, they didn't have that title, but they did that job. They did that job of, I can't get into specifics because you're not initiated, and there's a lot of people who are going to see this video who are not initiated as well, but they did the job of an Oba Oriate. The women were the first to bring the religion, I don't want to say bring, to land in Cuba.
Okay.
And start working the religion. We're talking probably the 1600s now. You know, it was more women working this stuff and, okay, do this, do this, do this, saving humanity religiously with our religion. There was eventually, I think the late 1800s, where the first male Oriate came to be, Octavio Lorenzo Sama. Obadi Meyi was his Orisha name. He ended up being crowned twice. Not that that's supposed to happen.
Okay.
But he had been crowned, but since he was one of the slaves that came later. Like I said, the women were there doing a bunch of stuff. Nobody knew for sure if he was lying or not. We don't know where you came from. We don't know who crowned you. We don't know all the stuff you got. Yeah, we see you have knowledge, but there could be people who learned shit and they lied. So if you want us to teach you and give you all this stuff, we have to crown you. So they ended up crowning him again, and something happened there where the Orisha he originally had crowned had came down. That's what the story is. And that's where the name Obadi Meyi comes from. Rey coronado dos veces, or king crowned twice. Okay. Meyi is two. Oba means king. So, bam, that's the first male Oriade. Women eventually lost sort of, I guess you could say, the top position, the power or whatever in Cuba because of the macho-ness of men and stuff like that, where women can't be an Oriate anymore. They tell women, oh, don't throw the shells, don't do this, don't do that. That's a man is supposed to do this in the Oricha side.
You suppress throwing shells so people know what throwing shells.
Throwing shells is the Oricha divination system, the cowrie shells. That's how they read, and they take out a sign, and hey, this sign says you should do this, you shouldn't do that, dress like this, don't dress like that, etc. But what women still can do is you can still crown people. You can still be considered a godmother of a religious house. You can have many god kids as much as you can, as much as your guardian angel allows you to have. Because when you crown, before you crown that person, you're supposed to ask your guardian angel if it's okay for you to crown that person. Because sometimes, even not that the person's a bad person or anything like that, it's simply some people come with different energy. That person might be much stronger than you. Their head is meant to be greater than yours, so you shouldn't crown them. You should find a stronger person to crown that person, not you. Because that person could end up destroying you once you crown. Because we say when you crown somebody, you're giving health. It's like you're birthing. It's like when a woman gives birth. And this goes for men too. It's not just for women. When you crown, you're giving health. So women can still be a head of a religious household. Women can do the whole spiritual thing, be mediums. They can get possessed, and still right there with the spirit talking through them, they tell everybody how they should do, what they should do. Hey, yes, you should crown. Women are play a very big role. A lot of pretty much every ceremony has a woman in there. Every ceremony has a woman in there. And it's very cultural. It goes back to how it wasn't that women do cook, even though there's men who cook too. I'm not saying that men don't cook. But we usually get a woman who cooks, a woman is serving the table, but there's women sitting down on the Oricha table too. It's not that it's just men sitting down on the woman's. No, on the Oricha side, there's women sitting down on the table too, eating, sitting next to a man. There's gays there too. Not trying to discriminate on gays, but there's gays there too on the Oricha side. Para el Santero. Now, the Ifa side, which is where I am, for us, you women are higher than us for the simple fact that you have the power that God has, which is to create life. You know,
that felt very good.
We worship women. We don't do any ceremony without a woman. You know, you are very important for us and to us. We call you guys apete B. Apete B. Apete B could sort of be another way of saying wife. Not that you would be my wife, because like I have a goddaughter who I give handle of Orula to, and she's an apete B now. She's not my wife. No, we say you are now a wife of Orula, because Orula now knows you. Orula recognizes you. He gave you a sign. You understand what I'm saying? We don't do a ceremony of Orula without a woman receiving. I could have 4 men here who are ready to be my godsons religiously, with the money ready and everything ready. Hey, we're ready to receive our stuff. And I say, I can't do nothing for y'all until the girls comes, and there's a girl who's ready to do this.
Wow.
And she has to go before y'all. Y'all have to wait for her.
Ooh.
You know, a woman is very important. Even when I received Ifa, my mother, who was my apete biayafa, she played a big role. She had to do something. Otherwise, I couldn't be a babalao. There has to be an apete biayafa. Does it always have to be the mother? No, we just prefer to be the mother because we always say it should be a woman who will never abandon you. For the simple fact, like, you could put your wife or girlfriend to be your apete biayafa, but God forbid tomorrow doesn't work out between the two of you. you guys break up, and if you have a bad breakup or you guys just hate each other, she knows certain secrets about your stuff now.
But isn't she supposed to be bound to not speak of those things?
Yeah, but
a woman scorned.
You know, there are spiteful women, you know, and so we always say either get your mother, or second, if your mother, let's say, because there's times where either the mother passed away or the mother just refuses to believe in any of this stuff. I don't want to know anything about it. If you have a daughter, get your daughter.
Okay.
The daughter represents what we call Aporoye, Orula's daughter that he had with Ochun.
The portal. It sounds like a portal.
No. Aporoye, that's a name.
Okay.
Aporoye. That's in Irete Mehi. Irete Mehi is the name of a sign in Ifa. Aporoye, you know, she was the daughter of Orula and Ochun. She was the girl who came and wiped Orula's tears when he cried. She, you know, she was there in certain moments in his life where he had his daughter. You know, so we would say, get your daughter. If your mom's not around, get your daughter, or get your grandmother, get an aunt, get a cousin. And in very few cases, some people put their godmother. You know, but the woman is very important for us.
So you can absolutely date, have sex
with a godchild?
No, with just a woman, you know.
Oh, a regular woman?
Yeah,
Yes,
a woman
yes.
that you're dating. Like there's no limit to intimacy and
no, but there still is the limit for us where they say, hey, stay away from a daughter of Ochung or whatever. Even me being a babalao, they may tell me stay away. It didn't happen to me, but they could tell me in my book of life, my second book of life, to stay away from certain type of women too. Stay away from a woman with kids. Stay away from a woman who's older than you. Date women who are your age or younger. You know, things like that. But there still is a difference between dating and just a quick affair, a quick little, you know, bam, and then I go your way, I'm going my way.
Oh, so y'all can still do that?
Yeah, we can still do that.
Cause y'all men?
No, the women can still do it too. Yeah, women can still do it, believe me. And
because I want to know if the good men are in this religion, this culture.
Everybody's in this religion, good and bad.
Okay.
Good and bad.
So
that's why
ladies, the good men aren't life. Just in this.
No, but that's why you got a book of life.
That's why you got a book of life, and that's why when you're crowned, you are able to ask, "Hey, can I date John Smith? Yes or no?"
Wow.
Now, if they say no, don't just go and be like, but no. They're saying no.
It's no. Yeah. Just leave it.
I've had that. That's actually something that has happened to me. I wasn't too at the beginning. I wasn't too into, like I said, I wasn't too into the religion, and the same thing in my household. It wasn't. We just knew we had to get crowned.
Okay.
So growing up, going to school, you know, and all that stuff. When I got crowned, I was 12, and I was just scared because there's certain things you have to do, that visibly people can see, and they could just point you out, you know. And
wait, pause. Physically, I mean, you can see, and they will point you out.
Well, as far as dressing, there is. I don't know if I can say it.
Because there's certain things
when you get crowned, you go through a whole year of.
Yeah, you can say that. You have to dress in white.
Completely.
For a year and 7 days. When you crowned on, this is a Oricha side for the santeros. Babalo Oricha, male, y Yalo Oricha, the females. You have to wear nothing but white for a year and 7 days.
Wow. So imagine I am in Hialeah, you know. Cuba Central. I wouldn't say Cuba, but yeah, Cuban Central.
It's a little Cuba,
yeah.
It's a little, yeah.
And when I got initiated, in Cuba. Like we flew from here, and we got initiated. I got initiated in Cuba. Well, crowned, because that's a big difference there. Okay. And when I come back, it's, you know, we have uniform in school. I'm in middle school, and I have to wear all white, you know. So my mom had to go and ask permission since it's a religious thing. Can she wear all white? They told her, well, she could just wear like a white t-shirt, but she's gonna have to wear the khaki pants. But you know, there's ways to get around that. But I would have to wear my bracelet, my beads. I would have to have my hair covered. So guess what's happening? Now people are just staring at me, you know, and in Hialeah, Cuba Central, you got some people that are like, oh, wow, you doing this. You're doing witchcraft.
They know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Ooh, you start saying witchcraft, people are shaking.
So
their
I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot. I would be laughed at. You know, it was one of those things where I'm like, why did I have to do this? You know, like I was caring a lot about, but yet throughout the whole time, I still did what I was supposed to do because this is what, you know, I would still go home. I would still do everything, but getting ridiculed at school or just, you know, actually having one of my close friends when I come back from Cuba, which was supposed to be very different for me, you know, like, oh no, I don't want to be friends with you. You're a witch. You believe and you do no. I'm not your friend anymore. And I'm just like,
did you ever go, yeah, ah! Like do something
I do
like
that.
that?
I do that now.
Like
back then, no, I was kind of hurt by it because I wasn't understanding. Because in my life, I was growing up with it, knowing that it was always a good thing. It was always something, you know, a good positive energy.
This is who you
are. Honestly, we can't do bad.
Right.
If we do bad, it comes like karma is really big on this.
Karma is real. There's good karma and there's bad karma, and karma is in this religion. Believe me, it is there.
And
you
that's
do bad, it's coming around.
And that's something that would really hurt because like, but wait, we can't do bad. We can't wish bad upon you. That's so, you know, and what.
But then they go to church on Sunday and pray.
That part.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Producer.
Bars. But so later on, getting closer to it, learning, I wanted to learn the legends. I wanted to know stories as to why this. I just still wanted to know, you know, and it's what I started noticing is like, you know what? People are just scared of power. And when people are scared of power, they don't know what it is. So instead of like learning, they just want to say, that's bad. That's, you know, that's, you can't sit with us because, and that was something I was like, no, that's not okay. That's not what I am. I am a good person.
Yeah.
You know, but it, like I said, it's always a learning experience. So the whole getting closer, the closer you get, the stronger you feel, you know, and sometimes you got to step into it and just know, like how you said that you were crowned at 5, but it wasn't until 22 that you picked up your book.
Yeah.
So it's like, what made you pick up that book? Like it's always been there.
Yeah.
So it's like the Orishas always took care of you, but it's like, okay, we'll wait till you need us. Then we'll be right here.
Also, these things, that book tells you a lot that will happen. Sometimes it's sort of saying a fortune teller in the future.
Well, why would you want to know? Like, if it said something like
to avoid Go ahead. Sorry.
You're gonna like lose your job and you're gonna have to be homeless for the next.
Because
you
certain things can be avoided.
Oh, I don't know if I want to know. I don't know.
Certain things can be avoided. Some things can be limited. Like, say you might have still lost your job, but you weren't unemployed for a long time. Whereas if you didn't know, you lost your job and you're unemployed for the next 6 months now.
Or that job was holding you back from something bigger.
There you go. A blessing. So these are things.
You just gave me chills when you said that. Okay,
that's the voice.
Because let me tell you, I still work, you know, a 9 to 5 job, and a lot of the times I feel like that job is holding me back from doing the things that I really want to do. Like you're spending 7 hours in a day at someone else's
working for somebody else.
Working for someone else, and it's like, no, I could be pouring into me and doing my own personal work. So I also want to ask you, do babalaos still work? Like, we're in the real world, you know, you have to pay your bills, and so is this something where you are doing your own teachings and that is like your 9 to 5, or do you have I clock in and still do what I gotta do?
I clock in and do what I gotta do. I work for an oral surgeon company. It's called Clear Choice Dentistry. They put dental implants and stuff. I would love and I hope to one day work for myself, not just religiously, but have some sort of business where I'm my own boss and I make my own schedule. And it also will give me time to study more.
Yes.
Get closer,
So to make it clear, you're not Mr. Cleo. Like, this is not your job. Call me now for your free reading.
Nah, man. No. I'm
Make
not.
the little flashing thing.
I work. I have a job.
Mhm.
I clock in the morning at 7 a.m. I'm clocking in, and I'm clocking out at 5:30 p.m.
Man.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
I live a normal life just like everybody. I just have this, which tells me a lot of things that I'm gonna go through, and it helps me avoid certain obstacles. And I still go through obstacles. I don't want y'all to think that because I'm a babalao now, I don't have any issues.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask you
I
that.
still have regular issues. I still get flat tires sometimes. And I'm like,
But
you
couldn't
didn't
find out.
see it that day.
yeah, I ain't see the flat tire. Like, damn. Like I still bumped into, because sometimes they'll tell you, hey, you're gonna bump into this type of person, and there's no avoiding it. You're gonna bump into that person.
But I have another question, because I tend to get this a lot. Since we're so powerful, right? Or you know what's coming, or you could make things happen, right? Why can't we ask to win the lottery?
Okay.
Let's
I'm
get into
glad
that.
you brought that up.
Because I can use about $333 million right about now.
Can someone
let's talk about it.
Come to you with a reading and say, hey, I want to be rich.
I'm gonna look in here and say this. For anybody who thinks they can get into this religion to become rich, you're dead wrong. You're in for a rude awakening. You do not come into this religion to get rich. You don't come in here and ask for money I want to win this. I want to win this prize. No. The first thing I always ask for, and I'm a typically healthy person, but I always ask for is health.
Mm-hmm.
Health and long life.
Come on.
If I'm healthy, may I remain healthy, please. May I remain healthy. But I also ask, what do I ask for? I do ask, hey, can I eventually have my own business?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the luck that I can have my own business. Give me the luck that I'll, see my mom every day till she's a very old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Give me, make sure I'm stable at home. I have a stable home.
Yes.
Make sure, I don't have any, whatever. And I do have enemies, because everybody has enemies.
Say that one more time.
Everybody has an enemy.
And we still pray for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
May I not lose any battle to them. Not that I want anything bad to happen to them, but may they not, defeat me. May I not ever be defeated by them.
Those weapons shall form, but they will not prosper.
Exactly. Take them out of my path. Let me walk the path without having any obstacles.
Yes.
Let me get there safely. Let me get home safely.
Yes.
Because I got a long drive all the way to Fort Lauderdale. It takes me 45 minutes in the morning and an hour and a half to get back. May I not get into any accident.
Yep.
May I not get pulled over.
Okay.
I ain't trying to be Rodney King or anybody. I don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I always ask, may I have a better relationship with my family? Because sometimes I'm not always on best terms with my family. And that's part of, even that could be something in the book of life too, where it says you and this person in your family, just to let y'all know it's not going to be easy.
Wow.
And that's for life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be easy.
I think that's just a prayer that when you become more in tuned and you realize that money is just paper, and yes, we need it to live and do certain things, but it's really a very low frequency thing, right?
It's true.
And when you start to pray and you're asking God, give me good health, bless me with another year of life, give me, bless me with more wisdom or understanding or patience or love or kind, you start to ask for things that money could never buy. So I love that you said that, getting into this is not, give me $100 million. This is not what that is.
I'm gonna say two things. I might talk for a little bit now.
Yeah.
I'm very anal and serious when it comes to my religion. To the religion. Sorry, I don't mean to say my religion. To the religion. I've turned down people with money. Why? Because I see that they're just coming into, like how I was saying, they want to buy the bees, they want to have this, they want to have that. Like, look what I got. And I'm just like, I don't want to have that around me. I'm like, yo, go respectfully, go see this person or that person. I don't want to do this with you. And they had the money to pay me right there. Like, they'll pay me whatever. I could have said, yeah, give me it. All right, here. Bam, 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 bam. Take it. There you go. Call me next week. I'm going to do something else for you. To keep taking money out of them. I don't do that to nobody. I've had plenty of opportunities to do that to people. And I just don't. Something speaks in me as saying, get away from that person. Don't do this. You know, like, I'm not in this for the green. Now, do I still charge? Yes, because nothing is free. And especially with the initiation part, we're receiving Hand of Oruda. You're my godchild. Yeah, you don't have to pay me directly, but you have to pay the other babalaos that are coming to work because you're not their godchild. They don't know you from a hole in the wall, and they're not going to do nothing for you after this. It's going to be me working with you. So you don't have to pay me going forward, but they do need to be compensated for their sacrifice here, for their time.
Okay.
So I do have to pay them. So I do have to charge you X amount of dollars for this, you know. And also, even if it's just me sometimes by myself, I still say, hey, just put what you can. What you're able to do, just put. I'm not here looking at your pockets. Just put what you feel you can. Put it. I don't even got to see it. Put it in an envelope and put it there. I don't know what you put. You'll go, by the time I see what you put, you're already at home sleeping in your bed.
Yes. So it's like a love donation or a donation of
precisely.
You're offering.
You're offering. Yes.
The other thing, I lost my train of thought.
Two things. Look out for a while.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm serious about my religion.
I'm serious about my religion. There are yes. Regarding the rich thing, there are people who have had that luck that ended up getting rich somehow, whether it was a scratch off or they met somebody who was rich and they married into richness, things like that, or their business, they already had it, wasn't doing so good, and then once they crowned and got religious and learned how to work with their Orishas, their business boomed, and now they're living a great life. So there are people who get that sort of look, but that doesn't happen to everybody. Okay, that's 1 out of like 200 people. You know, not that's not meant for everybody.
I have like one thing on that. One thing that when I ever want to ask for, you know, I always ask for prosperity, for light. So it's like if I'm in a situation, make me make the right decision, because the power, it's your ancestors, Orishas, can guide you, but then you still make your choice at the end of the day. So it's like one of those situations that I would pray to please put me in a room. Please put me in the room and I would do the rest.
You'll handle the rest.
You know. So it's like one thing that would really just, how would I say, it's something that happened to me as far as that, but you have to do your part. You cannot expect them to do everything.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, they need to make sure that you're ready for your own blessing that's about to come.
Yes.
It's like testing.
They won't give you a blessing before time.
Exactly.
It ain't when you want it.
It's when you're ready. It's
when you're ready.
It's when you know that you're going to be able to appreciate it and be grateful for it.
Yes.
You know? So it's one of those things that literally it just happens. And no, so I would say, I never ask for, I want to be rich. I just say, please put me in a place to be successful.
Right.
Please put me around people or show me the people I need to get away from.
Yes.
So that blessings can come in.
That's an everyday prayer for me.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So that's instead of asking for wealth, please, show me how I can do that.
And how I can sustain it. How I can have longevity with, my prosperity.
And that's where so let's say if you have that prosperity, you have that thing going on where I got this great business opportunity. I'm doing good now. I'm getting, my bank account going up. That's where you would get a reading. You don't have to tell the person who's reading you that you're living this. You're just going to get a reading. They're going to give you that advice. If the person knows what they're doing when they're reading you, they're going to know, hey, okay, this person, based on this side, they're doing this and they're getting a good income. Now, the advice I'm going to give you is, hey, in your business, there's going to be people like this and there's going to be people like that. Be careful over here. Be careful over there. Bring this to your job with you. I might tell you bring an echu or an elegua to your job to have just at your job, living at your job.
What is that?
It's on the internet, so
But it would be something.
It's like
it's
maybe
like formed of a rock,
okay.
which represents Echu or Legua.
Okay.
And you're placing it at your
You're
business.
gonna keep it at your business. That's your business of Legua. That's meant for that business. You're gonna keep it there. You don't take that home.
Okay.
You feed it there. You do certain ceremonies there after hours, and everybody's gone. You try to do.
So what is that Echu doing? Like, why did I
Echu
have to?
Is bringing, say, for example, you're in clientele where you have clients. Is bringing more. Is drawing the clients there. But you can also say, hey, if somebody's effing with me at my job, it could be a coworker or a client who comes plenty. You could, I don't want this guy here.
I've actually spoke that into
Or can they
existence before.
or make the person just not want to deal with you? Like they're like, you know, I'm just
take it easy on you.
things like that. Sort of a leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. That's where sort of little bits of magic that we do that the Orishas can do for us. Are they gonna move mountains? In certain circumstances, it may happen.
Okay.
I've seen it happen, but it's not gonna be all the time. Don't get accustomed to asking for a miracle every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The day is the miracle.
You're alive.
Bars.
You're breathing. Okay, you know that's your miracle.
Yeah.
You're living a long life. You know, like don't ask for a miracle every day because it's just you're asking things that are no.
Right.
No, you have to live your reality. That's why everybody has a different book of life that's going to be told, hey, you're not going to be rich. It's going to tell you you're going to need to work. You're going to have to get up every day. You're going to be a person who's going to have to work.
Yes. And it builds
You'll
character.
be rich in friendship,
Yeah.
maybe. You'll be rich with family.
Yep.
But you're not going to have a rich bank account.
Right.
It's not in the cards for you. It's not what God said he wanted for you.
I love that you said that because even in 2020, right, I think I was the most broke I've been ever. Because obviously the world stopped in a sense. No one was going back to work. I was literally going through my savings to continue to pay rent because you still had to pay rent. So I was blowing through. I was still paying rent and doing all these things. But when I tell you on everything I love, I was the most happy and at peace I've ever felt. Ever. And it's like I didn't have to work so hard to chase this money. I felt like God was finally answering my prayers when I was like, I just need a break. I've been working so long. I just need a break.
It's the freedom, I think.
Oh my God. It was amazing.
It's the freedom. When I have a week off or whatever, I just feel so great. Like, I don't have to go and have people in my face and somebody standing behind me, and I don't have to be all dressed up, all hi, yes, good morning.
Yes, that's a mask.
I was just like, I don't want. That's not me.
Yeah,
I don't. Like,
how do you even spend your time off? Like, what do you?
Sometimes sometimes I stay home and I'm just like, I just want to lay here. Sometimes she texts me, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm just laying down on my couch. I'm looking at a movie
watching
right
a
now.
movie.
I ain't doing nothing. Watching
Exactly,
a movie.
watching a movie.
I'm watching a movie. I'm just relaxing. That's what I like. I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
People call me an old man. I act like an old man. Like I'm the type you'll see me sitting on a rocking chair. Like
that's very known. Hold on, because that's very known for a child of Obatala to be known as the old man because he's represented as an old man.
Yes,
so that's one of the characteristics.
Precisely, you got it.
A child of Obatala is there.
Obatala is known as like the father figure in this religion. Like he's the elder. Everybody sees him. He's
I could totally see that with you.
You know, that's the one that I crown. You know, I'm very I observe a lot. I'm very what's the word? I'm reserved. I don't talk much. A lot of that was a battle with my parents growing up. They were like, "Oh, you're so quiet. Why don't you talk? You don't like us. It's not that I don't like you. I'm just quiet. I'm watching y'all. You know,
can you read people? Like, even if if you didn't know me and Lily or whatever, you don't know me, but like, can you read someone while you're just observing them and being like, ding, 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 ding?
Yeah,
So you know all my business.
Not all your business.
You gotta be a babalao for that though. Like even there's people who could get vibrations very and be like, I can tell you don't got a good
I like
maybe
to study
it's more powerful on
person.
him.
The last girl I dated when I lived with her, like the first like week or so, like I would just sit on the couch and I would watch her as she was active in the house.
So, question, right?
Oh, you like to do this, you like to do that, and I told her about herself a little bit. I was like, you always do this, you always do that. I watch you. You do this. I watched you. I watched you for a week already. You do this.
Okay, but
And,
there's
you
a
know, like, I
difference from
observe.
you're observing her doing that and
I
saying,
observe.
I remember when you were this age and you did that. Like,
Oh
can you
well,
go deep into
that
that?
no, that I cannot.
Or I can see in the future that, you know, you
I
were
may dream
being.
Mm.
Them dreams be
I may dream it, but does that happen to me while I'm sitting? No, that could happen
Okay.
to a person who's a medium.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
A medium can do that. It'd be like, you're the that's happened. Somebody did that to me one time. I remember I visited somebody's house. This was when I first moved to Miami in
Oh, I got stories.
2016. It was an old lady. She never met me before. She might have been in her 50s. Her name is Mercedes. And we weren't even in the ceremony or nothing. We all just sat down in the living room. Everybody just talking. I'm being introduced to people because only one person there knows me. And she said, I see you in this wooden house where somebody has a bunch of pots and you're standing in front of there and they're saying this and this and this and that. And I was like, yeah, that's my father and this and this and that. And I was just like, yeah, luz. I had to tell her luz, or like light for you. Luz para su espíritu, light for your spirit. Because she has a spirit that tells her these things about other people.
And when he means light is basically, you know, like when your spirit has passed, you know, I wouldn't say it's a dark place, but that's why they mention light, right? To give them more to get higher to where they have to go, because they just gave you some kind of information as far as like, I'm here with you. And then you're like light, so you could go where you need to go.
Yes.
Okay. What are you gonna ask?
Oh no, I was gonna ask, right, if you're like a dummy to the religion, right, or someone that just doesn't know anything but they're interested, like what would be the first place you send them, or what would be the first thing you suggest?
Okay, so me being a babalao, because everybody has a different way of working. You know, me being a babalao, I would say, okay, and it's happened plenty of times. I've had people come to me. I say, okay, hey, you know, we exchange our information. I get your number, you get my number, etc. Come to my house whenever you're free, and I'm gonna give you a reading. Based on that reading, I'll tell you, hey, you should be initiated over here, or it may not be even anything to do with me. It would be with one of the other 3 sectors of the religion. You need to go over there.
Of the Yoruba religion.
Of the Yoruba religion. You need to go see a palero, or you need to go see a medium to have a mass done, or you need to go see a baba or isha iyaloricha to go do something over there.
Is there books, sorry to cut your wisdom, but is there books or anything like that you would suggest to someone? Because I know that it's a fantasy, but there's a book called Shallow Waters. Right, but it's a fantasy, right? But it's about the Orishas. I'm not sure which ones, because I mean, literally know way more.
So it's basically a love story between Yemaya and Obatala.
Right.
Ooh, I want to watch that.
Right. But like I said, it's fantasy. So
I gotta see that, but you gotta show me.
I got it.
Okay, I gotta see that, but
no,
because that's one of the story. Yemaya is the mother figure. Obatala is the father figure. Now, they are considered to have children together. Now, it wasn't necessarily exactly Yemaya, is what you've probably heard of Yembo. Era Yembo and Obadala. The path of Obadala that it was Ochagriñan, where he is the father of Chango, Edegua, Ogun, and Osum, and of Oruda, because Oruda is the youngest, even though he's considered highest in position.
Wow.
He's the youngest of everybody. He was born after everybody. You know, he was born, he was a baby, and Obadala didn't want any more male sons. So he took him and put him somewhere. And the Gua followed Obadala to where he put him. He said, hey, okay, no problem. Boom. Chango, just so you know, they put our brother over here. And they took care of him. They made sure he was alive until he finally grew up. And Chango gave him Ifa, etc. The story goes on. It's a long story, so I don't.
No, that's fine.
I'm gonna take up
a
lot of time saying this story.
These stories, like how do we know these legends? Because that's another question. Like are there other on top of Shallow Waters? Like, is there other
That's
books?
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there other books? Because I think there's a whole section in Barnes and Nobles because I've seen it.
For sure.
For
For sure.
I gotta hit
You
up
know,
Barnes
I
and
know.
Nobles.
To the
No.
beginner, I guess.
Because there's a lot of
I'm
legends.
sure there are books now. I don't know a lot of these books for the simple fact that the books that I have are the ones with certain secrets in them that you guys cannot read.
So there's
And
certain
it
things that you
has-
cannot talk about when it comes to.
There's a lot of things I'm holding back
Got it.
on that I can't talk about.
Got it.
A lot.
He's a king of secrets.
There you go. There's a lot that sometimes I'll be like, damn, if I go here, I'm gonna eventually reach there. And I
You
can't
can't
talk
do that.
about
Pull it
that.
back.
you
I
know?
saw Lily pulled you back a few times. Yeah.
But I'm sure there's books. There's even websites.
Yes.
Certain websites where it just gives you a brief little outline on every Orisha. You know, Elegua is this and this and this and that. Yemaya is like this. The daughters are like this, and the different paths of Yemaya, because that's another thing. Certain Orishas have paths.
Yes.
You know, Yemaya, there's Yemaya Achaba, there's Yemaya Sesu, Yemaya Okulti, Yemaya Okoto, Mayedewo, and then there's Ochung, Ibu Anya, Ololodi, Ibu Yumu, etc.
A lot.
How do you remember all
Right.
of this?
It's
Like,
years and years and years.
jeez.
Elegua's the one with the most because he has Elegua on the Orisha side. Elegua has 21 paths, but then for those us babalaos that I was telling you about, Echu has over 100 different paths,
Wow.
and we don't even know all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them weren't all discovered. I would say maybe there's about 60 that we know for sure.
Wow.
Are out there, but there's more that we just don't know. There's 246 signs in Ifa, and every sign has an echu for that, and not all of them
So I
are
have
discovered.
one more question because it feels like today we have left a lot of information.
Yeah.
We've left a lot of information. So is there any way, if anyone who from today like what we did, or want to know more information, like how, or if they even want to get a reading, or if they just want to get closer, can they, just reach you? Can they contact you? Is that possible?
Yes, I don't know if you guys would end up tagging me or something.
Of
They
course.
would see my Instagram. There I post certain things. Because even my Facebook and my Instagram, I make it more about my religious side. I don't, I let them know who I am. I'm a babalao. My name is such and such. And I post certain things so they know that I'm real. And I, like I do, because there's a lot of fakes out there.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
Say that just
of
one
fakes
more
out
time.
there.
Yes.
Be careful who you do your religious work with, who you decide to initiate with.
But can those people not be like punished for doing
Eventually,
harm
yeah.
or bad and all those things, or taking
Yeah,
your
but
money and
by
running?
the time you have taken already that person's advice, and it doesn't. So you have to be very
so say
careful
that
who you
fake
do it
gets you, right? They'll get you, and they probably got like 10 more after you before they finally got punished or whatever. In Cuba back in the day, this is more back in the day when shit was, they would take the stuff from you. Like your deities. Like, no, we're taking this from you.
Okay, yeah.
We can't do that today because it's just, especially in
different
America.
time, yeah.
But in those times, especially for the babalaos, if they caught a babalao doing something that he shouldn't have done, they're taking his orula from him. Like, nah, you ain't getting this back. I don't care. Like, you want to get this, you got to kill me. Like, to the death type thing. And that's part of our pact inside when we're doing, like this. I live and die with this. This is like,
you have to do good.
You have to do good. Promise to do good, or shit's,
And you have teachers as well within this?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Because I always say, I want to know, like, if I'm going to seek knowledge, like, I want to know who's teaching that master, like, who is his teacher.
That's that's why I said, even like in the initiation process of the hand of Orula, I don't do this by myself. there's always at least a minimum of 2 other babalaos that are going to be present.
Okay.
And depending how many people are receiving, I may have more babalaos. I may have 4, 5, 6 babalaos there. And you'll see everybody there. You may not understand everything right away because you'll be brand new to this. You would be brand new, so you won't understand what. But say if you receive your hand of Orula, the next time I have another ceremony of hand of Orula for people, I can call you to do certain things. And you'll be, oh, I remember when they did this. So you can ask questions now. Not everything you're going to be able to see because there's certain, like I said, there's secrets there too that you have to be a babalao to see. But certain things that you've already gone through that you see, you'll be able to say, hey, so why did they do this? Why did we have to do that? Like, okay, no, you do this for this reason and like that and like that.
Right.
And this means this in the future. This means that, breaking the past, et cetera, et cetera. We'll be able to give you teachings, certain teachings. You see what I'm saying? Yes, people can reach me. You can slide in the DMs.
Professional work only, please.
It go down in the DMs.
Professionally speaking, please. Religiously speaking, I'm very serious about it. Lily knows I'm very serious about the religion.
Extremely. He saved.
I don't play.
He saved me.
I don't play. I'm very serious. I love this religion with all my heart. Now, am I a fanatic? No, I'm not a fanatic. Like I said, I have a job. And sometimes life just fucking happens. You know, there's sometimes where I tell people too, like, hey, life just happens. Don't think it's because somebody wished it or somebody did something or no, it's just it happens. Shit happens.
Yep.
Shit happens.
Life be lifing.
You know, try not to let it happen again. You need to experience certain bad things to not, you know, let it happen to you later, and you can even save other people from it. So yeah, people can reach out to me if they need my number. They can ask me for my number, or if you guys know Lily, you know, Lily has green light for all that stuff.
I have to interview you guys first, you know. I could seek
and
a little
JB
bit of
too,
energy.
And if you want my number, you can get
It's
my
Mr.
number
Producer.
as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely gonna put your information in the description and make sure we tag, and like, you know, like he said, he's a very serious person, so don't be reaching out on no shenanigans.
Please.
Okay.
I want to share with you guys what I'm wearing.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
first of all, I'm dressed in white, of course, because this is how the Ifa and also Oricha initiation is done. You dress in white after it's done, after you're crowned or you receive Ifa. We dress in white, a white shirt. I didn't wear the white shoes because obviously I'm not, but even then I would have had white shoes and white socks on. You know, that's the color, you know, to purify, you know, to get, you know, I don't know the words I'm looking for, but it's more along those lines.
Yes.
This, which you can see, only babalaos wear this. Nobody else wears this. This is strictly for babalaos, priests of Orula. This is what we call Inyafa, or the street name for it in the religion is Obeyono, El Obeyono. It has every Orisha's color on it, starting with Elegua, who is always first. We will start with Elegua first, and then it ends with Orula on this side over here. It has every Orisha. We wear this mainly when we're doing a big ceremony. So for anybody who ever receives in the future your hand of Orula, you'll see a bunch of babalaos wearing this. Or some might wear it a little smaller version that they have now. That's more modernized, but this is the original. They wear this. And this also, it protects us because this is a strong ceremony. Like I said, we're giving health. So we have to make sure we're protected as well. This is from my Obadala. This isn't actually something that you get initiated with of any kind. This was just something somebody made for me as a gift. And I did certain things with it to give it a blessing. And I keep it with my Obadala. I wore this because I just really like it. I love it a lot.
It goes nicely. It goes very nicely.
Thank you. This right here is my Orula bracelet. We call it Ide de Orula. And it has the white, which is Obadala, my guardian angel, who I still represent. Just because I'm a Babalao doesn't mean Obadala isn't a part of my life anymore. Obadala is still the Oricha I crowned from when I was very little. You know? And it has, of course, Orula's colors. Only the babalaos should be wearing them like this, like a bracelet big like this. And people wear them now because they just want to wear them out for fun and etc.
Mm-hmm.
The hat, half. Which one's the white side? I'm not looking.
White
Okay.
side.
The white side, of course, Obadala, and this is actually the path of Obadala, which you see it has red and white, which Obadala Ayaguna. We were saying Obadala is considered an old man, a father figure. Well, this path of Obadala is actually the young Obadala. He's a young warrior, a king as well. He's very hot-headed, even, you could say, but he also brings peace with war hand in hand. Both together.
Wait, so a woman can be
crowned
this as well?
Yes, a woman can crown Obadala. She's crowned Obadala.
Yep. I'm crowned Obatala, and I'm also crowned Obatala Ayaguna. I have the same one.
She has the same path of Obadala. That's why I was like, she's like my twin.
Yes.
And we have the same last name.
We could keep you here forever, but what's the difference between, well, I guess not what's the difference, but why didn't you do like Santa Maria, or is that even the correct term for it, right?
So I think people confuse Santa Maria with Santeria.
Santeria, yeah.
Santa Maria, I think is
Why didn't I stay as a
Mexican.
santero, as a babaloricha?
Right.
Okay, no, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So even before, for most people, not for everybody, for most people, before they crown, they receive their hand of Orula. Because that's what we originally say should be the steps of initiating into this religion. You go to a babalao, you receive what we call the warriors, Elegua, Ogun, and Osun. Ochosi too, but you don't actually have a physical Ochosi. Ochosi lives inside the Ogun. And you receive your Orula. And the third day of that ceremony, because it's a 3-day process, is where they have your ita. You get your first little book of life, where Orula is giving you, your destiny. Because Orula is the one who, like I said, he speaks for Olodumare, who we consider to be the creator, God. Orula is not even giving you his own opinion. He's speaking for the man upstairs, who everybody can't speak to.
Wow.
In that ita, for the men, he tells you whether you can be or cannot be a babalao. And he also tells you if you have to be a babalao, because there's a difference between you can be and you have to be. If you want to be in this religion, you have to be a babalao.
Okay.
I had one of those signs from Orula. But like I said, I was the rebellious child. I don't want to hear any of this crap, whatever. But so I had that sign, and eventually, when I got it, I crowned and everything, and I had a sign there on the Babaloricha side with the Orishas and everything. In my 20s, when I began to understand more, especially when I moved down here to Miami. I'm from New York. I was raised in New York. In 2016, I moved to Miami. That's where I started to see more of the babalaos. I started to talk to them more and get an understanding of the sign that Orula gave me, because I only had the understanding of what the Orishas gave me. You know what I'm saying? So I started to really dig deep. I was like, hang on, like, I was only taught to look here when I could be looking
bigger.
Right.
Right. This really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't know. I was like, shit, like, damn, I thought I just had to go here. No, I'm really supposed to take this on. And for a while, I was like, okay, but hang on. I still got to learn a few things over here. I picked up a lot of knowledge on the Orisha side. So by the time I did Ifa, which has been a year and like 8 months now, I still had a lot of knowledge. I didn't go in blind. There's nothing on the Orisha side of a Santo ceremony, of Orisha ceremony, that I really don't know. There's nothing that I don't. I've been there so many times. Like it's second nature now. I can't work it no more. Like to say tomorrow you decide to crown, I won't be able to be a part of the most of your ceremony. I'll just be a part towards the end. Okay. I'll be towards the end where there's the blood and guts. That's where you'll see me like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
But everything else that happened, because there's a lot of stuff that happens before that, I won't be a part of.
There's levels to this. So you're not repeating like the first level of what's happening.
Yeah, I won't be a part of that. I've been there, done that. I learned it when I was still on a babaloricha. I learned it. I worked it. I studied it. I was there with the oriateses, and I thought I would be an oriate until one day, Obadala and Orula said, cut it out.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to go there. We told you this. Go over there.
Okay.
Then eventually I was like, okay, fine. And here I am today.
We can literally keep you here forever.
I'm
Okay,
here.
we're not. I know we're going in right now, but
Can we do a part 2? If
listen,
we're running out of time, I don't know.
Y'all want a part
if
2?
y'all
Because
want
we
a part
can.
for it.
put it in the comments. Ask any questions in the comments.
That's probably
We are
what would
here.
happen. We're gonna y'all ask y'all questions.
Yes,
Ask y'all questions.
Throw questions in there if y'all want whatever y'all want them to ask. Now, if it's secrets, there's certain. I want y'all to understand. There's
I don't
certain
want no
secrets I cannot give.
and I'm not gonna ask.
So,
Okay. So while we're winding down a little, I have like the basic things, right? Because
Okay.
I do believe that words are spells. So I'm very big on like rich rising, royal rising, grand rising, divine rising, right? And a lot of people say good morning. Do you still say good morning? Do you say rich rising? What do you say to like lift the vibrations when you're getting up?
Say it in Spanish. We say buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
We say
And
good
I
day.
speak Creole too. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur.
Ooh.
Se va bien, et toi? Good morning. If we're an American, if I see somebody who doesn't speak Spanish, good morning.
So
how
you
are
just
you?
adjust for the most part.
Yeah. Good morning. What I wake up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, I do something with my orula and my Orishas, verbally, not actually physically doing it, but verbally. I speak to them, say what I gotta say, and then the sun is out. I salute the sun.
Yes.
I ask for blessings from the sun. That's olorum. Olofin olorum olodumare. I ask for blessings from up above. I salute the sun. I say some things. Bam, bam, bam. And then when I see whoever I see, hey, good morning. Good morning. If it's somebody religious and that I know, Boy, buenos días, ¿cómo está? Boya is how we it has a meaning, but it also is another way of saluting. We say hello that way religiously too.
Okay.
Which I'm trying to instill in somebody's head over here, but they
What
keep
is it
forgetting
again?
the words.
One more time.
So you adjust to, depending on how you greet someone in the morning. Because I'm very big, like, grand rising or
and that's another
rising,
thing for. Sorry to cut you off. For the women, when they receive their hand of orula, we salute you because this religiously, the men who aren't babalaos, when they receive, they have to salute us. Like part of the ceremony is, hey, this is how you salute a babalao. You do this, you do that, but we don't really salute them. We just give you a quick response. But for the women, you salute us, but we bow down to you and we say apete bi boru, etc., etc., etc. in the ceremony. Because like we said, we consider you to be the top spot. Once you become an apete bi, you've reached a hierarchy for women. And the only hierarchy above that is apete bi ayafa, in which you're in the ceremony of whoever it is doing ifa, you're there apete bi ayafa. So
I like this.
I
Makes you
love
feel like
everything
a queen.
about saluting, treating
It's
women
the
like queens.
and
Even
the
when I made the
kings.
little joke about like the hoe, it's like no.
It's like, no,
Let's
the woman
disconnect
is a
from
woman.
that and let's
Disconnect.
bring it back to like queenology. I
'Cause
love that.
we have it in our rules. A babalao who disrespects or mistreats women becomes an enemy of orula.
Ooh.
And orula is who we work with every day. That's our main. That's our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Orula. Orula does more for women than he does for men.
Wow.
Me being a babalao and all, he'll talk to Lily first before he talked to me. He'll be like, yo,
My
Lily, what's up?
girl.
He'll be like, Isaiah, shut up. Lily, what's going on? You all right? Like, you all right? What, Isaiah? Like, what you want?
Yeah.
Like he does because the woman was the one who saved him.
So like him a gallus.
Wait. Can you say that one more time?
Because it was a woman who saved him. Which comes to another story why Ochun can always eat with Orula no matter what. And that's a whole story I could dive into.
So
I don't know if we have
Say
time.
that. Timestamp that, okay? Yes.
So there's because I like to think a little bit deeper. I promise but I like to think a little bit deeper into that, as to why there's so much respect once you become, because when we see a babalao, we think of a king, and it's the fact that you guys put women like so up. It's one of those like, is that how things supposed to be? Is that because when if I would ever to date a babalao, I would be like, you know what? There's gonna be a lot of knowledge because you guys are the king of secrets, but yet you guys put the queen.
No, I'm playing.
So y'all are saying that you guys are the king of secrets, but yet that's why you guys have to be very careful on who you pick as a woman because that's basically,
Yes, you hit it right on the noggin.
Yeah.
and she's gonna learn from you. So it's like one of those like we can protect you and you
Yes.
guys protect each other. Is that why that bond is so strong?
First, Orula. Let me say this: these Orishas and Orula and everybody, they were human beings once upon a time.
Okay.
They were on this earth. They walked on this earth just like we walk on the earth. They just had certain powers, and then that's why they were worshipped later as Orishas, as gods, as African gods. Orula wasn't a king. Orula was never a king. He was a pilgrim. He traveled. He was an advisor in many places. There's stories where Orula became rich, where he got a lot of money. There's stories where Orula didn't have anything, but he was never actually a king. He didn't have the crown and have his kingdom. He advised the king where he had high position, where the king said, yes, Orula, all of you will listen to Orula. And that's sort of like being crowned king because now you're advising everybody. Everybody comes to you for advice. So you sort of feel like a king, but you're not actually a king. Why are we looked at as that? Like you just said.
Well,
we're considered like the wise men. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you see those old movies. No, we're gonna go to the wise one.
Yeah.
That's Orula. You
The
go to the elder. You go to the wise man, and the wise man gives you the advice. He tells you what to do. He tells you walk down this way, and you shall be fine, my son, etc., etc., etc. Back in the day, there weren't many babalaos. It's not like today where there's a lot of babalaos.
I think it's a popularity
And that's
thing
why
now.
it's a popularity thing now, and that's why you see a lot of people take it as a business now, and it's not really coming from the heart. They just do spot to anybody now. They don't even ask if it's possible or not. They just say, no, don't worry. No, we're going to do this, and you'll see. You'll be a babalao, and 1, 2, 3, and you see everybody walking around. It was never meant that way. Because back in the day, like you said, our thing was secret. You know what they did in Cuba way back in the day? We're talking the time of our grandparents, when our grandparents were young.
Yes.
And before that. Bam. You wanted to be a babalao, right? You have the signs and everything to be a babalao. Okay, cool. That's great. That's the first step. You have the sign to be a babalao and you want to be one. First, assuming you're a man now or a teenager or whatever. I'm your godfather. You're going to come with me. We're going to walk around town. Hey, you know him? You know John? Yeah, you seen John around? Yeah? How's John been? How's his character? John ever rape anybody? John ever kill anybody? John ever hit his parents? John ever did anything a little, not to discriminate them, but you cannot be a homosexual and be a babalao. You can be gay and be in the Oricha side. That's fine. The Orichas are there for you guys, and you can receive hand of Orula, but you cannot be initiated into Ifa. And you cannot be a babalao and be gay. Those are the rules. This is from the time before time. I did not make this rule. That's the way it is.
Gotcha.
So don't be DM him and commenting on crazy stuff.
But they would ask these questions to see who you were. Like, because Cuba's an island. Everybody's gonna know each other.
Everybody know everybody.
Especially in the Havana. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's seeing you from when you were small, and they know what you did behind closed doors. So we asked. They took you around. Yo, you know him, 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 you know him. What has he done? What has he done? Has he done this? Has he done that? Has he done that? They would have a conversation with your parents. Say, how was he? How was his upbringing? Has he ever hit any of you? He ever lifted his hand to you? Oof. You lifted your hand to your mother or to your father? No, I'm sorry. That's it. Cut ties. We can't do nothing for you.
Wow.
You know, it was very strict like that.
I wish it was like that now.
You understand right now? And that they've lost that. They did that a little bit to me, my godfather, actually. When I was planning to do Ifa, my father was is very known down here by a lot of the old school people. So in different ceremonies of Handle Rula, he would always invite me. Not that I was gonna work because I wasn't a babalao yet, but he would just have me there. He wouldn't tell me why, but eventually I figured it out. And I was just like, whatever, it's cool. Like, let him do what he got to do. I ain't got shit to hide anyway. A lot of people knew my father, and they saw me when I was little, and they saw me. Some people saw me growing up. They're like, "Yo, you know him? Yeah, you know." He was like, "Hey, come here, Isaiah, ven acá, ven." Like, "Yo, come here over here." Hey, this lady says she knows your mother and your father. I'll be like, "Yeah, I remember I saw you, but I was like 12 or whatever. Yeah, I remember." And then, like, "Okay, go over there." And he would be standing there talking to him for like a good half an hour. Like, yeah, and I knew it was about me.
Yeah.
So he did investigate on me.
Oh, wow.
He did investigate on me. And at the end of the day, even after all those investigations, all of us ask Orula, should I do this? Yes or no? Because our thing is so serious and so secretive and so, like we care about it that much. We value it that much that we don't want to just bring anybody into it. No matter what sign you got. I don't care what sign you got or how much money you got. If I respect myself, I'm going to take all these steps to make sure I know who it is that I'm bringing in here and I have the blessing to do it.
Yes.
But like I said, now everything is a business. Everything is money. They see green and it's just like, yeah, come on. We're going to do this. Yeah, here. Bam, 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 bam. The 7 days. You're a babalao. Congratulations.
Wow. No.
And it was never like that back in the day. We've gained expansion, excuse me, but we've lost the roots. We've lost in the deepness, if that's the word. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but we lost in that.
Wow.
So we want to bring people
we're
back
letting
to
everybody just get in and do it. No, it's not like that. That's why you see a lot of things on Facebook now. I'm sure you see it, Lily. There's videos in Mexico or different places in the country, and they're just doing crap. You see, like
horrible.
They're stealing people's money everywhere, left and right. It's crazy. So
it's about getting back to your roots, really.
Yeah.
Really getting back to your roots and knowing who you are.
So like I said, Orula, you see babalaos like that because we're supposed to have that persona of like, yes, oh my God. Like before back in the day, we see a babalao and I was like, oh my God, there's a babalao here. Like everybody, like shit, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like damn, there's a babalao here. Now it's like, oh, we see him everywhere. You see him here, and then there's another one over there. There's another one over there. There's another one over there.
Just to add, if you have noticed, since I'm considered I am a Beta B, right?
Yes.
So once I found out that we had a babalao come in, I had to, just switch up a little because I was like, I could just have him sitting on my couch like this. I need to set this up for him.
Yes.
So that's one of the things when I was making it, I was like, wow, like it's funny. I'm preparing a house for the entrance of a king, and I was like, that's so crazy. So we got dressed up. We did,
y'all see me in my hat.
Exactly. So it's like,
it's a big deal. We're drinking.
And it's a certain position. A babalao is a certain hierarchy in the religion. Because like I said, it's the wise man. Nobody has more secrets than the babalao. We know everything the Orishas does, and that the babalao does, and the palero does, and that the spiritual person does, because all of that is in Ifa. But Ifa is not in all of that. They don't know what we're doing. They don't know what we're doing behind closed doors, the ceremonies and the certain prayers that we got to do. Our stuff takes a long time. If the day comes when she has an Ocha birthday, an anniversary, and I don't know if one day she may decide to put up a big throne and do a little party or something like that. There's this thing done where everybody comes to salute the throne one by one. If you're there and you see me salute, my salute and my prayer will take longer than everybody else's.
Wow.
Because I say and conversate a lot more. I have to do a lot more than everybody else.
Wow.
The babalao's stuff is lengthy. Not to say that whatever the babalo Oricha or the Oricha says is nonsense. It's not nonsense. It's still important. But our stuff is much, much more deeper. It's just a lot more.
Oh my gosh. Listen.
And we have a lot of rules. We have a lot of rules. So dating a babalao, believe me, ladies, it is not easy. We have a lot of rules. We have a lot of restrictions.
I'm not gonna do it. We don't gotta go there.
We don't gotta go. Okay,
I mean,
we'll save that for part 2.
Yeah, we'll have to have a
two.
part 2 because there's so many things that I do want to ask. But I mean, there's a lot of questions that I want to ask, or things that I've, done, even just like dressing in white, like before I step into a space where I know there's going to be some elders, or maybe I feel like I need that extra protection, not even knowing why I'm dressing in white, but I noticed that I've done it before in situations where I wore my hat and I'm wearing white, and no lie, it's really protected me. Mind you, I didn't go in thinking, oh, I needed this protection. It was just, it's almost like a inner knowing that maybe this is what I needed to do to just, go through this and be smooth while I'm having an interaction with, these other people. So I have a lot of questions on that eventually. And the word ashe, like, people always say ashe to things. Yeah, like, what is that about? So yeah, I don't know if you want to ask anything else, because I can go for days.
I feel like, yeah, we would go for days. I think we gotta let this on the Here We Grow for real.
Yes,
I think so. I think we did a lot of growing.
Yeah,
we learned a lot. So, and I'm sure.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved every second of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
I loved it. I enjoyed this experience. I hope there's a part 2, a part 3, part 4, and part 5.
Yes.
Or even if it's not about this, or anything else, I would love to be a part of it.
Yes.
Let's grow.
Oh.
Let's be selfish.
Can we do?
Yes,
that's how you know he watched.
That's how you know he watched the show.
You gotta grab
my bottle.
Grab your bottle of water. We have our ginger tea, okay, and we'll cheers and toast to just insight, knowledge.
I wanna cheers to our ancestors. Cheers to.
I was about to say that. I was about to. Ache.
To make something like this happen, okay?
Yes.
And that's one thing I kind of want to like dedicate this one to the ancestors, just for show.
Here we grow.
Apete bi boru, apete bi boy, apete bi bocheche. Muchas bendiciones para ti. A lot of blessings for the voice.
Yazid.
Ache bo boy woru. Ache.
So we leave it in ache?
Ache.
All right.
Ache.
Ache.
This is so good.
Here we go.